I'm Carrie Ellis, author of 21st Century Superhuman, and this is our 21st Century Superhuman show. Today, I have with me a couple of really neat people, Sybell and Maarten from the Netherlands. Hi, you guys.
Hi, Cary. Hi, nice to be here.
Thank you for being here. I know Sybell somehow was posting on my Facebook. She was commenting on things, and then I started seeing the things she was posting with the health pens that you guys are making, and I was just blown away, and I started communicating with her and saying, wow, would you guys be willing to do a show? Because you guys are so artistic and so detailed and so creative. So we're going to share with the world today how you are making the Keshe technology health pens, and you're doing that independently in Amsterdam, or not in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, near Amsterdam. And I know, Sybell, you're of Greek heritage, and I'd love for you guys to just tell the little story of how you met. Sybell, you told that really beautifully. And just, you're such neat people, and I'm so excited to have you here today. So thank you for being willing to do this. I know it's a big deal to get on the stage with the whole world looking into our lives.
It is a bit, yeah.
But this is just to be us talking to each other, and that's how I want to keep these shows, just really personal. So, so how about a little bit of that story of how you guys met?
Okay.
Although I believe that we're all one, just to give you some information about my background, both Australian and Cypriot. We got married in 2013. Before that, sorry, I'm very nervous.
It's okay. And you were teaching in Turkey, I remember you told me, right?
No, I live in Australia, and I just wanted to have a different experience, so I went to Istanbul, and I started teaching in Istanbul at one of the universities. And during that time, I had my awakening in 2007.
I've been with me.
Oh yeah, I was going back to Australia. I packed up, and then we met. Maarten has a Facebook group, spiritual group. I have a spiritual group all about orbs. So we kind of knew each other, but we got more closer, let's say. So before I went back to Australia, I listened to my heart, and I wanted to come to Holland to meet him. And it was love at first soul.
I love that. Love at first soul. That's so beautiful.
So changed all the plans, and I came here and got married, and we love what we're doing and sharing and caring. It's amazing.
Nice. And Maarten, you went through your awakening maybe 7 or 8 years ago?
Yeah, 2009, on the 9th of September, 999. It was on a Tuesday at 3:30 in the afternoon or something like that. It was really a direct switch.
You were a man of detail.
I don't know, it just happened the way it did, you know.
That's good.
And that had a lot of influence on my life, of course. So everything I was disappeared, and the new me came up, and I was in a relationship that ended. I was living in a house. I moved, and I was actually preparing for my new life. And then Sybell and I met on Facebook, the same way that we did, actually. A lot of good connections are made through Facebook. A lot of
good connections. Nice global community. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So this was extraordinary for me, because usually the way men and women or partners meet is when there's a attraction thing going on, and then you get interested in the deeper side of that person. In this case, it was the other way around, because we started talking and sharing about spiritual stuff and everything that's connected to that. And then as we found that we were connecting very intensively on that level, then I got interested, who is Sybell actually? And so then the attraction came on top of that. So it was the other way around. And I think that's perfect because it's always about the heart, right? So the heart was there first, and then the rest of the world will tag along on that. So
yes, such a beautiful, fun story, and good for our times. You know, I think a lot of people are looking for their soul companions, and
yes.
so then, how did you guys end up stumbling into Keshe and his teachings?
Well, I will start off a bit, and then Sybell can explain on top of that maybe. After waking up on that Tuesday at 3:30, one of the first things that came into my new world was the existence of free energy. And I always had hoped that free energy was a part of our life, but I did not have any faith in that. Then I started investigating, learning, unlearning, and that kind of thing. So then I found out that free energy was there. And I ran into two Australian inventors, and they made a magnet motor. And they were selling the blueprints for that. So I bought the magnet motor blueprints from them for 49 Australian dollars, I think it was. Very cheap. And I got them, and it was meant to build your own engine. And I looked into that. I thought, wow, that's a lot of work, and it's going to cost about €1,000. So let's check if this really works. So I gave the papers, the blueprints, to a friend of mine who works at the university in Holland, in Eindhoven. And he checked it out. And after 3 weeks, he came back to me and he said, this works. It only produces 7 watts, which was not a lot, but that was not important for me. What was important is that it seemed to work, or it was.
It's funny. I think I remember when those instructions came out. I think I actually got them also.
Oh, okay.
That magnet motor, yeah.
Yeah, that's been around for a long time, and I still think it's possible. So when I like proved to myself that free energy was an option in life, then I started collecting all kinds of data, and then Keshe came to me also. But his teachings were at the time really like university level. So I was listening and learning, but not implementing that in my life because it was like a bit too complex. Yeah, so that's maybe my first part of how Keshe came about in my life. Yeah.
And everything started after the ambassadors meeting in October 2015.
2015. So really very recent. And I think I was in those blueprint meetings. So is that about when you started really watching all of the
all the teachings?
Nice.
The next day the teaching started, and we were taking notes, and we were not accepting any guests.
Beautiful. Oh.
We were really into that, and we decided to help heal the planet, people, and help people who are in need. And I also wanted to put my knowledge in this healing process by adding crystals. I've been working with crystals for many years. And the sound healing, that's what we also charge the pens with 432 hertz, which is the energy of the universe, nature.
I'm just getting chills. Beautiful.
So the idea was, if we bring the plasma, if we bring the sun home, why don't we bring the nature, the frequency of nature into these pens?
Nice.
So, yeah, and also essential oils. They have very high frequency, and they have
beautiful.
Certain essential oils have really healing frequencies. So we put everything together. So everything we have learned so far, this was a great chance for us to put everything together.
What was also happening at the time, and that was a great lesson again, to see how a frustration, or the essence of patience, which is a very difficult thing to deal with for a lot of people, also for us at the time, is that we were as a planet in a transformation phase, and lots of the advice that was given is it will come, it will come, it will come, it will come next month, might come this week.
Yeah.
And so we've been spending like maybe years waiting kind of waiting for stuff to happen. And then in the spiritual world, more people started talking about how we are the ones we've been waiting for. And that sounds very nice, but how do you activate that? How do you bring that into, so the Organite and the crystals and the healing and even the traveling and creating groups and having spiritual groups on Facebook and everything was an attempt to make that happen, but it still was not really a full successful launch. So when Keshe came about and the ambassador meeting started and the Blueprint Week started, all of a sudden there was this opportunity to really get into it and do it. Just do it, work on it, and make that happen. We are the ones we've been waiting for. So now this, and that's the genius and the beauty of Mr. Keshe, is that he's giving us something that everybody can activate on their own level. You know, if you're a scientist who's been working with quantum information his whole life, you can get into this. And if you've never heard of anything and you've been a taxi driver, you can get into this. You know, it's wonderful. It's for everybody. So this is really hands-on, and let's do it.
Beautiful. Well, I'm so excited to show people these pictures of these just breathtakingly beautiful things that you guys have been making. Should we switch over and look at some of those?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let me switch to screen sharing. And thank you for sharing your beautiful stories.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just put this on. Oops, I'm at the far end here. Oops. Hold on one second. Oh, sorry.
Crushing crystals for Organite.
Sorry, I'm kind of like, we're going backwards through it. So, okay, here we are at the beginning. So this is a wonderful picture of you guys and some of your creations.
Yeah, this is when we first attempted to make the pen with the use of the glass heart tubes, and this is the start of how we do that. Yeah.
So
this is what happened. Sorry.
So I don't know what the glass. Explain what the tubes are.
Okay. We've been looking at material to put the pen in, because, as Keshe explained, you cannot touch the pen because it's nanomaterial and it has a certain danger to the body, and also influencing your own skin into the nanocoating. So that's not a good idea. So everybody's been experimenting with what to put it in, and we were not very much impressed with the way it looked very often, because it looked like you're doing some kind of a magic trick or something. There was not a substance to it. I don't know how to explain that very well. And then our expertise from the Organite came back, because when Sybell started making Organite, and I joined her in that, we noticed very quickly that it was possible to talk about the effects of Organite and how it takes away EMF radiation from people and ionizes the air and that kind of thing. But that meant that only people who are in the know about that would have access to these materials. And so we decided to make them look really beautiful, so people will have an interest for them, and then we'll be confronted also with the Organite and the function of the Organite.
Nice.
And we decided to do the same thing with the health pens. We found out that the in crowd, the people who are in the know already, they're very interested in that, but we want to reach out to people who have no idea that this is around. So if you show them something that will look nice, they might say, hey, this looks nice, what is that? And then they're interested, and then the rest of the process will continue. So these pens that we're making now, and the photo we're looking at now, is an example of where we used a test tube, hard glass, to put it in to protect it, and then we can use the Organite materials to make it look really nice, and then have the possibility to add the essential oils and the colors, and so everything came together in the pens.
Nice.
Yeah, just a test set of one of the first productions that we did.
Beautiful. They just look scrumptious. I just want to, like, grab one of them and play with it.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell us what you're using in the top for the plug, and we're going to go through kind of how you make them, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Look at the
Yes.
nice orb on the side there, the nice light coming in too.
Right. There's something about the plug. Yeah, thanks. There's something about the plug because it looks like a plug, but it's not a plug.
Okay.
Because as we are pouring resin into the glass tube, we can put many colors on top of each other. So, like in the one that is on the left, the purple one with the yellow top, it's filled up with purple resin, and then we add a little bit of yellow resin. So they both connect, and it's one thing actually. So it's not a how do you call it? A lid or something.
Okay, got it. And if you a plug, if you explain later, will you explain how those colors have an effect with what you're creating here?
Yeah, we can.
And this is is this a cup of life or just a cup?
What it is actually, it's a glass of water with a pen in it. But okay. I'm a photographer, and I get really inspired by the Keshe material and everything that we're doing. So I was fooling around with the pen. We were fooling around with the pen and water and doing tests on the pH because there were some rumors going around that you could change the pH of the water. We could not find any proof of that actually, but we did find out that what the pen does is it oxidizes the water. So Keshe himself explained that if you drink it, it takes away headaches. So we've been working with that a bit. So this photo is just an example of how the pen is in a glass. And the glass is a bit weird and colorful. That's why it looks like this.
Yeah, beautiful.
But the thing is,
this one, yeah.
It's easier to use it in a glass of water when it's glass. So if it was plastic or it was there was some holes, so you wouldn't be able to energize your water. So glass works perfectly with energizing water.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, actually this photo is nice because in the back you can see the speakers and on the right side, and the speakers are projecting this 432 hertz all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's an experience itself to be in that sound for about 2 hours. So we're being treated as we're being as we're making them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've started playing those solfeggio frequencies a lot when I'm going to sleep or sleeping at night. It's almost like I don't even want to go to sleep anymore without them on. They're just so nourishing.
Okay, they are. Yeah. Yeah, this is there's a lot to see here actually. They're in the pens, they're in the glass, they're filled with the resin, and especially the one on the left, the second one on the left, what we noticed is there's two interesting things happening with the pen. One is that the tips seem to have an effect on the resin. So there's a certain, as you can see here, it's like there's a layer around the tip or something, which has been produced by that. And the second effect that we have is when we take a pen and we use it on ourselves or on each other.
So can you see my cursor? Are we talking about
yes.
this area right in here where you see it a little, or maybe here?
That one, yes.
Yeah.
And then if you go down a bit, it looks like there's air around.
Right.
That piece, and then there's a little purple piece, and then towards the spiral, you get that whole strip, that whole pin. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the little colorful things are just sparkles that we use to make it look nice. So they have no function. Yeah. So and the second thing is, when we start using it on each other, the pen starts to make a clicking sound. There's a click in the pen. So yeah, that's amazing. And in the beginning, we thought it was a reaction of the resin on the glass or something like that. But then we started getting reports from other people who are using these pens, that they have the same thing.
Wow.
And there were some people really, really convinced that when they activated the pen, the clicking started.
Wow.
So now we notice the same thing. When it's around, there's nothing going on. If we pick it up and we start using it on the body, then the clicking starts. It's like this little activation going on. Yeah.
Cool. That is awesome.
Very.
Awesome.
Yeah. This
beautiful little perfect coil there.
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, I was inspired by the Keshe groups who do a lot with improving all kinds of details in the making of the pens and the Magrav units and the energy units, etc. And this one was just a result of something I improved again and made a little extra twist.
And
Which,
so does this end go out at the top so
yes,
that
it does.
the energy isn't being lost, it's turned back in, right?
That's it. It turns back into itself. And I used to do that with only one loop, but there are two other coils connected to this, the inner coil and the outer coil. So I have to connect two more coils to this loop. And with this double one, you can do that very easily. It won't slip out and you can connect it very easily. So this was a perfect, yeah.
Nice.
Just a little detail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is I want to explain something in between, because I think a lot of people might have the same experience with that. When we started following the week of the teachings, it was all focused on building the Magrav unit, on building the energy unit, and we started doing that as well. And as we were doing that, we noticed that Keshe was going much faster than we could keep up. So we decided to keep building that Magrav unit slowly, take our own time for it, because we have lives, you know, on top of that. And then as we were doing it, we found out that making health pens or making the coils was something that would take less time, it's less complicated, and it has an immediate effect. So it's very nice for confirmation if you're starting to work with this, because it will tell you that it really works. And one of the things we found out when we were making GaNS is that the GaNS water, CO2 GaNS water, can be used for making plants grow. And we started testing that on our own plants, and it worked like crazy. So very interesting side effect there as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and the woman in the pet shop said, what are you putting in your cat grass? And we said, well, it's safe, you know, don't worry. Well, she said, because I'm asking because the cat has to survive too, right? So the cat is eating this and everything's fine. The cat's still around and it's wonderful. It's wonderful stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
You do that.
Beautiful, beautiful herbs.
We wanted to make a caustic, herbal caustic. So what we did was we put all the essential oils, some herbs and some nuts. We also put cannabis, huge cannabis bud, which is also a healing plant.
Nice.
So we mixed them all together with hemp oil, all the essential oils there that you can see on the left. So we made the herbal caustic.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills just looking at them. Let me ask you, so when you say you made caustic out of it, did you, why don't you explain what that means? Because I'm not sure what you mean. And I was wondering if you would put, I think I've heard of people taking things like this and putting them like in a net bag in the GaNS making, but instead you put them in the caustic, or you made, tell me what you did.
Yeah. In the beginning, the first couple of times we just made the regular caustic, and then we learned about how the energy pattern of food is put in plasma and then can be reproduced. So in investigating how that worked, we found out through Keshe that you can make a herbal caustic, which means that you are going to use that caustic to nanocoat copper plates or pens or coils or whatever you want to nanocoat.
So does that mean you mixed the lye with it? I guess I call it lye here in the United States, and I know they kind of call it caustic around the world. But for instance, when you do the nano coating, the first step of the nano coating is to put some lye or caustic in the bottom of the container with your copper coils or whatever on top of a piece of hardware cloth or wire, and then you pour hot steaming water over that. Now, did you just set all this in that environment?
Yes, we did. We made the container, we put the mesh on the bottom so the coils and the plates can be on top of that.
Right.
The caustic or the lye was on the bottom. Right. And then we added all these ingredients on top of the caustic, and then poured hot water.
Wow.
So that gave, I think there's a photo somewhere, but that gave a horrible looking kind of material.
Yeah, I think there is a photo somewhere. We'll see it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Brown.
And the idea was to put that influence of all these ingredients into the nano coating of the plates and of the coils and the pins and
so did you do that on just step 1, or did you leave it in there on steps 2 and 3?
We also did that on steps 2, only in step 2, and then after that the drying started of the nano coated materials, and then we took it out and kept it. And now we can add this caustic to caustic when we do it again, so we don't have to put all the ingredients back into it anymore.
Nice.
Yeah, we just use that as a supply. Let's say.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the picture after it's been in there, right?
Yeah. Don't eat that. It's not good.
Don't eat that. So basically, when you did it, you put so you have your container, and then you put the lye or the caustic in the bottom of it, the crystals, and then you put this on a paper plate or paper towel, or just put it all in there.
Just put it all in there, yeah.
And then you put your wire over the top of that, your wire mesh with your copper on top of it, right?
Yes. Yes, that's it.
Ooh, very good. Very cool. Very cool. And so what's really exciting is this caustic is what you're using to make your health pens with, right?
We do, yeah. We're still experimenting with other ingredients we can add or make them specific for, let's say, bone problems or skin problems or joint problems or whatever.
And for one, I know in one of the conversations that's happened in one of the recent Knowledge Seekers workshops with Mr. Keshe was someone had used a DMT producing substance, which would be like ayahuasca, but it was something else from Africa, and it apparently helps people eliminate drug addictions very quickly. So he was use that in health pens.
Right. The beautiful thing also is that in this whole process, we know how far we can go with it, because, for instance, Keshe explained how he made pads many years ago already, where he could regrow limbs on people's hands and toe and feet. So if he can do that, then it must not be that difficult to release somebody of some muscle pains or some menstruation pains or what kind of problems we all might have. No, not we all, but some people more than others. So there's a huge range of things that you can do with the pens and with developing the pens into specific areas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. So what are you doing here? This is great.
I use this as an example to show that when I had physics in high school, I was not paying much attention. When I was chemistry in high school, I was not paying much attention because I liked languages and the creative arts and that kind of stuff more. So I kind of skipped those. And then as Keshe started with his teachings, we had to start all over again, I had to understand how physics works and how chemistry works and what about the atomic relation between this and that. It became, I wish I paid more attention to that, but all things happen for a reason. So here we go. So this is, this was in the time when it was still advised to drain the nano-coated wires of some current that might be in there. You needed to get the current out to make the nano coating more able to put the flow into it, which is necessary. And this was just an example of how to get that how to drain the coils from the current.
And I see you have a couple of triskelions there. I actually have one around my neck.
I love making triskelions.
Yeah, they're a really great that's the triple circles, and those really go back to very ancient times, right?
Yeah.
You say, Sybell?
Celtics,
right.
Energizes water, and I just wanted to experiment this with Mr. Keshe's technology. So I made some pendants.
Nice.
This is.
If you have one, you can show it to us after we get out of the slideshow.
Yeah. So this is the same principle as Organite. You put it in resin, and I also added flower of life at the back.
Nice.
And crystals and nano-coated copper, Triskelion with GaNS.
Beautiful. Let's look at that when we get out of this slideshow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the chemistry of the GaNS making.
Yeah, beautiful. So that's a nano-coated copper plate, right? Hanging down into the salt water.
Yes, it is. And then you connect a copper wire to it to a zinc plate or another copper plate, depending on what kind of GaNS you want to make. And then you go like, you know, what am I doing here? I'm just putting a copper plate with some black stuff on it in a salt bath, and what's going to happen now? And then after a while, you know, it starts to react and things are happening and the magic is going, and you're actually not sure what you're looking at in the beginning.
Right.
But you get used to it after a while, and you start to understand how the GaNS is produced a bit.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. And it's amazing how simple it really is. It is not that complicated.
It is.
And again, GaNS is gas in a nano state. So we're, as John Carl says, it's kind of like making popcorn out of this plasma energy that surrounds us all the time, expanding the atoms.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah. And here's the resin is being poured. This is where the moment of where, because Keshe also explained that the pen, once it's made, it will last for 20 years.
Right.
Which means that this energy flow keeps going like indefinitely. And then we also saw that the pens that were being made did not look like they could last for 20 years. So we wanted to put some sustainability in that, and that's part of the reason why we started using resin and the glass tubes.
Nice.
No. Yeah, I think it's the same. It's another set.
So you have your copper coils in there, and then you pour the resin in and whatever other ingredients you put, and then you just let them solidify, right? So it's kind of like you're combining the Organite process with the health pen process.
Exactly. That's what we're doing actually.
And where do you get that resin?
There are shops that sell different kinds of resin, so you have to look into what kind of resin you want to use. There are little trouble that we have with this is that it's not very environmentally friendly.
Right.
So we're looking into different kinds of resin that might solve the problem, because there's a resin that is made from how do you call that stuff that comes out of the trees?
Oh, like sap, like pine sap or something.
Pine sap, that kind of thing. Yeah, and they do the same thing. They're not transparent, but I think right now we're still in the stage where people want to see what's in it, because they want to see the magic. That's why we use these transparent colors or the transparent. Once that's gone, then you can put them in anything you like, because people will know that it works anyway.
Nice. Well, that's exciting. Yeah, it'd be neat if there was a resin made from hemp too, huh?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't know that, but it's very logical, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, no.
What are you doing?
Okay. Oh, you want to explain?
No, you explain. Yeah. You're in the ocean.
Okay, we went to the beach to get some seawater.
Right.
And it was like below zero. It was very, but we were not very well prepared. So we just went there with the empty bottles, and how are we going to do that? So I was wearing boots, but they were going to get very wet. So, and Maarten said, well, what can we do? I said, okay, I will just go. So, and we had 2 bags, so I put my boots in the bag, but it didn't work, of course. And I was
wet and cold.
Very wet and cold. But we collected some GaNS, like 5 liters.
Beautiful. Gorgeous.
We needed the seawater to make GaNS.
Nice.
Water, yeah. So.
What body of water is that?
It's the North Sea.
North Sea, wonderful. Well, also, you know, I do with my friends often water healing ceremonies, because all the water on the planet is connected. And Mr. Keshe has also said, you know, if we put GaNs and nano-coated materials in the oceans and in the earth, will clean up, you know, the problems that we have very quickly. So I thought maybe you were dipping one of the health pens in the water there, but
Right, right. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, next time.
Part of the Organite process was also it's called gifting, and actually what a lot of Keshe people are doing is they're gifting, because they're giving things for free and introducing it to other people and teaching people for free and etc. And we used to throw some Organite in water to clean up the water, but the Organite has a magnetic essence to it, and the plasma has a magnetic and gravitational essence to it. So the effect of it is definitely going to be a lot bigger than only the Organite.
Right.
So, so it's a good idea, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I watched a really interesting, somebody had put a really interesting little video up on Facebook the other day, and it was a power strip, and they had plugged a fan into it. I think it was plugged into just normal electric, and then they were setting Organite on it, and they were measuring the volts. You know, it would just completely drop the electrical volts that were coming off of it. When you put the Organite on it, you put a crystal on it. It'd be interesting to put one of your health pens on it and see what happens.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Good one.
Yeah. We can do that for our next show.
Yeah. We also have that meter.
The meter. Yeah, nice.
Voltmeter.
The voltmeter.
Yeah. Don't they look nice?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So you add colors to the resin?
We do. Yeah. And we can make any color we like, just about. And people have preferences, you know. Some people are connected to more purple, pinkish. We noticed that the women like the purple more and the men like the blue more. So, and then you have varieties in feminine and masculine energy, so everybody can take their own pick. Yeah.
Nice. And so in a minute, we're going to get into the coils that you put inside of these. We'll share that also.
Yes. Yes. Nice.
Oops.
Yeah.
Just some nice shots of the
herbs and crystals. Yeah.
Oh, are there herbs in there? Oh, you have herbs right in the top?
We use we use lavender and rose and rosemary.
Nice. Lovely.
Same thing.
Oh.
Yeah, this was a water test that we were doing, because we got in touch with somebody from Abu Dhabi, and wasn't it Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was making hydrogels, which are it's a kind of material that you put around the palm tree, and then you water the palm tree only once every 3 months. And then these hydrogels, they will release the water slowly into the ground. So when he heard about our testing with water, he got very interested, because he said, is it possible to put this CO2 water into the hydrogels and then release that slowly to the palm trees, and we'll make them even more healthy and start doing that. So we did a test here. We bought 2 pieces of cat grass again. The right one, as it says, we used only water. On the left one, we used CO2 water. And then we had a big surprise, because it was not growing. And this is where the groups are so handy and so important, because when we started sharing this information, some people who are very well educated in plants and seeds and stuff started explaining me that putting CO2 water on seeds is not making them grow. It will keep it down, actually. So even it doesn't matter how much water you put on it. So we learned from that we make the seeds grow with normal water. Once they start growing, then we use CO2 water, which makes them grow faster. So,
interesting. Very good.
Yeah, very. Yeah. Just a little intermezzo here.
Great.
Yeah, the magic stuff.
Beautiful
magic.
GaNs. Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, I don't know. We've had, you know, our eating habits have changed.
In what way?
It's like we eat. We used to try and have like 3 meals a day. Now we're more into having small meals in between. We are not looking for like eating a lot. We very often go like I'm not really hungry. Yeah, well, we have to eat something. Let's make a salad or something like that. So there's been a change in our food pattern a bit. And what this stuff also does is,
And let's just explain, Maarten, in case anyone isn't familiar with this, it's not because you are consuming GaNs. It is because and we don't want to take GaNs internally. It is because the GaNs is sitting on the shelf at your house like this, and it is resonating its energy into your field, which is making you feel nourished.
Yes, thank you for explaining that. Very important. Yeah. Yes. Never touch it, never drink it, don't bathe in it, don't wash your hands in it, just keep it in jars. If you're working with it, use gloves, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's very important what you just mentioned there. Same thing goes for nanomaterial actually. So and the caustic and all that kind of stuff. So
beautiful. So we have the CuO GaNs, which is copper on the left, the turquoise one. And CO2 GaNs in the middle, which is made from a nano-coated copper plate and a zinc plate. And the first one is made from a nano-coated copper plate and a copper plate that's not nano-coated. And then we have Cu, is that what it's called, made from the iron?
No, it's actually a side effect of the Cu, of the first one on the left, the Cu oxide GaNs. And that was a time when I was trying to use current, like electricity on the process. I put too much electricity on it. And then instead of CuO GaNs, it started to produce Cu GaNs, so only copper GaNs. And in the beginning, I thought it was a failure, but Keshe explained, don't throw anything away. And we did not. And then later we learned that we actually, by accident, produced a copper GaNs. So now we're looking for the best way to utilize that copper GaNs into what.
Good.
Yeah, it's magic stuff.
And the GaNs you've rinsed it when you first make it in the salt water. Then you do a couple of rinses, do 4 rinses in order that you fill it up with plain water and pour it off, and plain water and pour it off. Do it 4 times, and then you have the water that is sitting there that is more of a pure water without the salt.
Yes.
That is something that you can use in your various tools, right?
Yes, correct. That's why I think it's very important, if people get interested and want to try this, start watching some of the workshops and of the teachings, because the process that's being set out there, it's quite important to follow that as much as possible. Because you might get a bit sloppy and think, well, it says 10% salt in normal water. I'm not going to measure that. I'm just going to do it intuitively. That might give different results, as Keshe explains. That environmental influences on the process are important. So also in this case,
Right. Wow, look at that herbal caustic. Do not drink this, right?
Do not drink that. No. We don't have a pad yet that can heal you from that, but we're working on it.
If you were going to use this to nano coat one more time, and I've been nano coating in a crock pot that I got from the thrift store, which has been great. I leave it on all night, so it's producing some heat. But would you heat this up before you pour it in? Would you heat it up to a boil before you pour it into and then you'd pour it on top of more lye or caustic crystal?
Yes, exactly. So you again put caustic on the bottom of your container or your crock pot, and then add some of this herbal caustic to it, and then pour the hot water. It will have the reaction anyway. It will create the heat, but it will be mixed with the herbal caustic. Yeah.
Nice.
How much you want to use is something that you should test, because the nice thing is about the pens is we've learned to be able to feel the effect of the pen. So every time we make a set of pens, I can take the pens one by one, put them on my hand, and feel how strong they are. And sometimes it happens that there's a little dent in the coating or something like that, and you can feel that the pen is not as strong, so that's going to be taken out. And so in trying to use a certain amount of herbal caustic on the normal caustic process, you can test that also afterwards when the effect is done, and just experience how strong the pen is for you.
Nice. And are you noticing a difference with the pens that are made with the herbal caustic compared to the non-herbal?
No, not yet actually, because so far we've only been using the herbal caustic on the pens.
Okay, but you haven't noticed a difference in the effect of the pens or anything like that?
Yes, we do notice an effect of the pen. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Later when we're on full screen, I can show some different kind of pens with different kinds of effects. So
Great. Cool.
Yeah, that was so cool. The Keshe workshop started, and they used the pens to show as an opening photo, and it was just very nice.
Nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So these are some of your really beautiful coils that are inside the pens, correct?
Correct. Yeah. And what's been happening here is you can see in each pen there's a center pin, the ones that we saw in the beginning with the loop. Then there's an inner coil and an outer coil around it. And so you're looking at 3 different things all put together. Very simple to do. If you want to get into this, I really would advise you to start trying and doing that. I will explain a bit later how you can.
And are you winding them by hand?
I am.
And what can you let us know kind of what you're using for mandrels for them?
What's a mandrel?
Well, something like a pencil or pen
okay.
or whatever you're wrapping it around. What are you wrapping it around to give you a, and then also, do you know what gauge of copper wire you're using?
Yeah.
And how you're getting that? You can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. This photo and the previous one are both about the nanocoating effect. So I stopped the nanocoating process with heat, with fire. I do that with a torch. And as I was doing it, you can see very nicely the difference in color. So you have the black on the top, which is the beginning of the nanocoating process. Then it goes into some really interesting colors in the middle. You get a kind of purple, you get rainbow colors. The copper is such mystical material to work with. It's wonderful. And then the rest of the copper. So that's just an example of this.
Nice. And so you have the 3 wires at the top, which is one from each coil and then one from the center.
Yes, correct.
Wire.
Yes. I have them all separated here in front of me, so we can show that a bit later.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is where we hang them to nanocoat them.
And so the bottom end of each of those wires that are curved over at the top are straight at the bottom.
They are. There's 2 things that are important in that. We learned that, of course, from Keshe himself, is that actually Mike Nisheef also was a great influence because he had some very nice examples of his work. The pins are cut off at an angle and then made into a little point. So the energy is focused when it comes out.
Nice.
And the 3 pins have 3 different lengths. So the center pin is the longest one, then the inner coil is the second longest one, and the outer coil is the third longest one. I'm not sure why that is, except that intuitively it feels like they're all combining into the center pin, and then the center pin is the one that really makes the focused energy. But I'm not too sure about that.
Nice. Can you say that one more time as far as which one is the longest and shortest?
Yeah. The center pin is the longest one.
Okay.
Actually, what we do is we use all numbers of 9. So the center pin is 2 times 9, is 18 centimeters long.
Nice.
The inner coil is 7 times 9, is 63 centimeters long.
Nice.
Wind it on a mandrel, as you call that. That was a new word for me. Sorry. And the outer coil is 72. I think the first one's 63 and the outer coil is 72 centimeters.
Nice.
So we try to use these kind of ratios to stay in tune with sacred geometry as much as possible.
Very cool.
Yeah. Here, on the left, you can see that the copper is getting very hot. It's red, actually, which is not what it should do. So that means that the nano coating might come off. But you can always do it a second time or a third time to cover that again.
So
And
you're aiming a torch at this, right? That's what we're seeing come in from the left.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
I have the torch here, so I can show that too. You can use butane gas. Is that an English word? Butane?
Yes. Yep.
Or propane gas,
Uh-huh.
which is a bit hotter. So I'm experimenting with both, and butane looks to be the best one.
Great.
Yeah, same thing.
Nice.
Getting nice and dark gray. It's not a black anymore, like when you put a copper plate in caustic, it gets really black. And
Right.
depends with heat, they become like a dark gray, which is just fine. Yeah.
This is kind of a dumb girl question. So can you just walk into a hardware store or a Home Depot or something and buy that thing you have that you're shooting the flame out of?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yep.
And what would it be called?
Butane burner, probably.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the Dutch word now, and then translating that, but
Probably maybe butane torch or whatever, butane burner. Nice.
yeah, something like that.
Wow, look at those. They're gorgeous. I mean,
Yeah,
you have to be in this work a while to appreciate nano coating. You know, it's like to look at
Yes.
something and go, what a beautiful nano coating job.
Yes, yes. I used to nano coat on the barbecue, with my the food that was on there.
Wow.
That would be, that would be by accident, would just
Right.
turn black. And like as she explained, part of the magic of these systems are in the nano coating. And now we're doing that. Lots of people around the world with fire, with caustic, or with current, or there are many ways of doing that. And yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I can feel it. It's making me smile.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Another nice shot of those.
I used to put them down on a tile to burn them, and then I started noticing that the copper might get damaged. The nano coating might get damaged from laying on a flat hard surface. So somebody advised, and I took that advice to hang them and then nano coat them, and that worked the best. Yeah.
Nice. And is that your are we seeing your little double coil at the top, or is that just two coils next to each other?
It's the center pin with the double loop.
Right.
And then in that loop, the inner coil and the outer coil are both connected to that loop of the center pin.
Perfect. Very nice. Nice work.
It's a lot of fun to do. We do everything by hand, and I'm not sure why, but it feels right to do that.
Right.
You can also put it on a drill and make 120 a day or something. But this is a lot of work, and my thumbs get really raw and rough and painful. But then I have a paint pen, so I can treat my own thumb.
There you go.
So it's a lot of fun to do this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same thing.
Nice. Lovely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And you can kind of see the length, so you can see that the inner pin is the longest. The
Yes.
Inner coil is the second longest, and the outer coil is the shortest.
Correct.
And everything is cut on a nice, what are you cutting them with? Just a wire cutter to get that nice angle cut?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yours must be sharper than mine. Mine has gotten really dull.
Right. Well, good material is half of the secret. So in the beginning, we used to do this stuff with cheap pliers and everything, and it kind of worked, but it also kind of not really worked. So we decided to invest a bit in good tools, and that really pays off.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good example of how you have on the left the pin, and then the second one is the inner coil. The third one is the pin with the inner coil around it. Then the fourth one is the outer coil, and the last one on the right is the outer coil over the inner coil and the pin.
Mr. Detail, thank you so much for putting this together in such a careful way, because it's really a great teaching tool. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
From the hearts of many people out in listening land who are wanting to learn how to do this.
Yeah, we get a lot of people who are contacting us to get information on details. It's a lot about details. In the beginning, you get a general idea what's going on, and then you want to make it, and then you go like, yeah, but how did that work, and how did that work? So
right. Since we're looking at this really nice picture, do you want to talk about the clockwise, counterclockwise direction of winding, and just explain by looking at these coils to us?
Yeah, okay. There was a huge confusion in the beginning about clockwise and counterclockwise.
Right, yes.
And we did not understand why there was a confusion, because we've been working with Organite for some time, and we've been working with counterclockwise and clockwise copper wire for a long time. So in this picture, actually, you can really very easily see that all the pens are made with the coils counterclockwise.
Right.
So if you start at the lower, at the bottom, let's say, of the pin, and you follow it up, then it takes a turn to the left. And as it takes a turn to the left, you go into a counterclockwise mode. So.
And isn't it funny? We have this system in our world that's about clockwise, counterclockwise, and we're all trying to get out of time. You know, I mean, time seems to be this kind of entropic thing, you know, something that is, you know, sort of like robbing from us, you know, when we have to live in it. And so we're trying to step into this eternal mode. But it's beautiful. Those are really beautifully wound, and it is easy to see that they are in a counterclockwise. Starting at the bottom, you're going in a counterclockwise motion.
Yes, just look, if you turn them around and you look from the other side, you will see exactly the same way. So it doesn't matter if you see it from the bottom part up. Or
isn't that interesting? Okay.
Yeah. So
very good.
That's why we could not understand why there was a confusion about it, because it's so clear, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I have to be careful, because every time we have some around, and I get my camera on, and my photography comes up, and I just love the material and looking at it. So
it's a huge gift. It's a really great gift to be sharing.
Yeah, we're happy to do so, really.
Oh, there you have a pencil. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now, is that for your inner coil or your outer?
This is the outer coil. Yeah.
Oh.
So right before we got online together, I measured the pencil width to make sure that I got the measurement right. It's 0.7 centimeters. Talking about Mr. Detail.
And that isn't even a flat pencil, is it? I mean, a round pencil. I mean,
it is.
Is it round?
It used to be round, yeah.
It used to be round.
After 20 pens, I need a different pencil, because it gets a bit damaged. But there's no influence on the making of the coil, and then as you can see, the coil is not even spaced, because there's some gaps in there,
right?
Or it's got together too close where it's touching. And so what I do when I'm done is I press them all together so it's like no spacing anymore.
Right.
And then I use something to put it in between, which is a little bit of a copper wire, so I can make a spacing again that is equal all the way.
Nice.
And I really do believe that there has to be some kind of a flow into the material, and the spacing is part of that flow
nice.
process.
Beautiful that they're hand done like that.
Yeah. This is the center pin and the inner coil together, and the outer pin is in the stage of being connected to it.
Nice. And it will run through that double coil at the top, right?
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
And then it'll bend back down. Is that correct?
It will, and I try to connect it back on itself. It does not need to touch necessarily, but it is important that there's the loop again, that the energy comes back and is being brought down into the pen again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, the making process. Yeah.
Peeling.
Oh yeah, the peeling of the wires. Actually, that's kind of interesting to.
Where are you picking that wire up at?
Just a hardware store. Just a hardware store.
And what gauge is this wire?
This is 14 gauge.
Okay.
But As
14 gauge is a little stiff winding by hand. I was winding some the other day because I think I started out with 12 gauge, which was a little bit, or no, 16 gauge. I started out with 16 or 18, I think.
Yes.
I was just practicing in the early days, and then now all I have is 14, and it's it's a little bit of work to wind it by hand.
It is. But again, if you know what kind of an effect it has, and if it, sometimes I get a little tired or something, or I've been doing it for 6 hours and don't want to do it anymore, and then I think about people with pain, and they put it on themselves, and they get rid of the pain, and it's really motivating to make that final push and to do it, because it's the satisfaction we get and the gratification we get from this is huge.
Nice.
Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, you can see here the tip is filled with the crystals, and then the pins are connected to that.
Oh wow, that's what's in there, huh? Little bits of crystal.
Yeah.
Nice. How do you guys actually break them up, or you just go find little pieces?
Because we have been using crystals for Organite. First, I crushed the crystals. I used black tourmaline, quartz crystal, amethyst, rose quartz, bauxite, selenite. Especially selenite is amazing.
What is?
Selenite.
Selenite. I haven't heard of that one.
Selenite.
Selenite. Oh, gotcha. Yep, I know selenite. Right. Good.
So after that, I asked the crystals to accept to be part in this healing process.
Yes, I like doing that. That's really beautiful.
Because when you crush them, it's like you're hurting them.
Yeah. I do that with plants before I eat them. I say, would you like to come and be part of my body and help bring love to the planet? Because this is the only way I know how to do it still at this point.
Yeah.
But one of these days, probably I won't have to eat them. But anyway, beautiful. Right. I love it that you do that.
Yeah.
And then after crushing the crystals, we clean them, either with saging, or I also use Reiki to clean them. Or we put all the crystals on the flower of life and then just clean them with the intention.
Nice.
And then we just mix them. And there's a mix for the pens and blend essential oil blends and the herbs. So while we're making the pens, we just put them in tubes.
So do you put the essential oils and the herbs down in there with the crystals? Do you mix it all together like in a little bowl, or do you just drop little bits in, or how do you do it?
I made a blend of frankincense, rosemary, rose, ylang-ylang, patchouli, and some other essential oils. So before we pour them into the tubes, I made a blend of all of them. So we just put the drops in the resin before we pour them. So
nice. And then the crystals you kind of drop into the tube first.
We do. And as the resin is going in, it's still liquid, because it gets hard after about 10 minutes or something.
Right.
As it is still a liquid, you can pour in whatever you like, as long as it's a liquid.
Nice. And then do you put whole, like crushed herbs in there too?
Yes. We when we pour the resin in the tube, we put all the crystals and depending on where we want to use them, and then it all goes through the tube. So yeah.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah, this was one of the tip photos where there was a reaction going on between the GaNS tips and the resin. So this was very obvious. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Same thing. Color purple.
And glitters.
And glitters. I love glitters.
Yeah, gorgeous. Beautiful.
Yeah, some details. Again, it looks like a lid, but it's not. It's just one thing with the rest of the resin. But it's got the feel of a lid, because in the beginning people were asking me or us, what is the tip of the pen? Where
Right.
which end do I need to put on my body? So this made that a bit more clear.
Nice. Oh, good. Cool. And so you're kind of finishing it off with some resin that you've added color to.
Yes, exactly. Yep, that's the way. This was the first set actually that we did about a couple of months ago, and yeah, we were very happy with that.
And what is the red at the top? Is that again that sort of cap area?
Yeah, pigment in the resin, giving it a different color.
Nice.
We stopped using red because it's like an alarm color. There's like an emergency going on when you. So we're not using that anymore, and the more softer colors are much nicer. Yeah.
Right. Look at those. They're beautiful.
Yeah, they are. They are like lollies. Yeah.
Like tickles my heart.
Yeah, those with many people actually. It's very nice, and we love it too, of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you want to have one of these health pens, or a handful of them in your house,
Yeah, true. And then they heal on top of that,
Right.
Yeah.
And this is the bottom tip, correct?
The tip.
What do you call bottom tip? Because
well, I call that top part is kind of like the plug. Is this the bottom or is this the
right? This is the side that you put on your skin, or that you
that's what I was thinking. So
okay. Yeah. I just got creative. It just looks great. And
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at those. And so those are basically really like a science test tube. I saw somebody said they could order like 6 of them for $10 in the United States or something like that.
Okay. That's about the same as here. Yeah.
Is that? I mean, in the States, they were saying they could just order them off of Amazon. So I imagine, what kind of place do you get them at?
We use a company that is actually a supplier for lab.
Nice.
For organizations who have labs, and you can just order any shape, any length, any width that you would like, and just get them from there. And then, of course, yeah, sure.
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to say that because they come from a company who's producing them for labs, they are made of hard glass. They can withstand heat. They can, if you drop them, they won't fall immediately, as long as you don't drop them on stone or something. Because
that's what I was wondering about, the breakability. And I was also wondering, is there something made out of plastic that would be similar, that might be a little more durable than the glass? If somebody was, I think of throwing one of these in my backpack and taking it to travel or something like that.
Yes.
That glass it'd probably be preferable to have plastic. If it's funny, my mom had this clear meat baster at her house, or I guess you call it like a gravy baster thing, with the bulb on the end. And I thought, wow, I could turn this into a health pen. It's a little bigger, it's a little fatter than these are, but
yeah, we're actually talking to some people who came up with the same idea, and what we're trying to develop now is put the glass tube into a plastic casing. So if people want to travel, you just get this casing. It should not cost anything. It should be like $1 or something, just to get it solved, and then you can transport it around. What we're also doing is, people want to have them closed, but they don't want to put them in their pocket.
Right.
So we're working on developing a sleeve that you can hang around your neck, and you can have it with you like that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a small one of these and have it on a little necklace kind of. That'd be cool.
Yes. Because this was such a huge interest to a lot of people, we got kind of overwhelmed, and we're dealing with a lot of people asking questions. But in the meantime, we really want to develop some different sizes and different shapes, and make them more practical. And a lot of people have been.
It even seems you could do, like the way that you make Organite, you could even make little forms that were made to be like a necklace that had the healing pen inside of them, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we're doing actually already. Yeah.
Nice.
When we're on full screen, we can show you something that looks a bit like that.
Awesome.
We're talking about that too. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yummy.
Yeah. So weird, huh? That a bit of coiled copper made black and then put it into a certain shape will do these miracles. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the tip.
Yeah, there's the tip. Yeah.
And the top. The tip and the top.
So wonderful that you can really feel them on your hands. It's like there's a little cool breeze coming out of the tip, like you're blowing air through a straw or something like that. Very soft, very gentle. And you can hold it like 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters above your skin, and then you can feel it blowing on your skin. It's really amazing sensation.
What a gorgeous photo.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Spaceship Institute, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you're going to get pulled into doing some of that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
GaNS.
Clouds.
The clouds of GaNs, yeah.
Clouds of GaNs, beautiful.
It was just a side effect. We made some GaNs and I was trying some different amounts of caustic in seawater. And one of the tests gave these little clouds, and they've been hanging there for 2 or 3 days until I mixed them up again.
Wow.
But it was really weird. Like there's some gravity or magnetic force going on with them or something. I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe it's...
And what did you do to this? Did you do it different than usual?
Well, when we got the seawater from the North Sea,
Right.
actually when Sybell got the seawater from the North Sea, we got home and then I made some different amounts of seawater with different amounts of caustic in it. So I gave one amount, which was like half a liter. I gave it like 60 grams. I gave one 120 grams, and I gave one 180 grams to see the different effects of it, all in room temperature.
So you just took seawater and poured caustic in it, and it made GaNs.
Yes, that's how that worked. And
it's really kind of how you make. I was taught how to make ormus before this, and
yes.
Thing.
Yes. Actually, I think the ormus. No, let's say the GaNs, when it's connected to the nano-coated copper, creates the plasma field.
Right.
And I'm not in the knowledge. I'm not aware enough of the workings of ormus, but a lot of people have been working with that too, trying to see how that works.
So are you using this GaNs for something that you made by just pouring caustic into seawater?
Not yet, because Keshe explained that this seawater GaNs is mostly used for electrical appliances, where there's a current going through the coils. So we're just building up on some GaNs that we want to use for future projects.
Cool.
Yep.
Same deal.
Same deal. This is the kitchen, you know. We.
I know. All of our households get taken over by.
Yes. Every time we end this stuff, we tell each other, you know, Keshe has no idea what he's doing to our lives. Probably.
I know.
The dinner table is full of. Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Sybell.
The dinner table is full of pans and peeled copper wires, and it's
always a mess.
Yeah, I understand. I carry mine with me as I travel and pull out all my little crates with all my stuff in it.
Oh, really? Oh, you want?
Mm-hmm.
The mobile life with GaNs making is interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Should write and make a YouTube about that, you know?
Yeah. Beautiful. That's a great idea, actually. Beautiful. Look at these. Oh, wow. So these are coils, but they're not nano-coated, but you're putting them into your Organite.
Yeah, these are Organite home protection sets. The round one, the big one, is a charging plate, which you can charge your water or herbs or fruit, food, anything. And the ones on the left can be placed in one of the rooms or next to Wi-Fi modem. And the pyramid, you can place it anywhere you want, in your bedroom or in your living room. And the other ones are pocket Organites, and the small one with the black top is one of the pendants. So this was a home protection set for one of the...
Nice. Oh, how very cool. I love it. And you have these available online, right? Someone can order these from you?
Yeah, we sell on Etsy.
On Etsy. And is it called Organite?
Organite is the name of the shop, yeah.
The Facebook page is Organite if you want to look for that. Yeah.
Great. Oh, that is wonderful. I love it that it's a set, a household set. That's really cool. And
yeah.
And as I said the other day, I was watching this video that was showing how Organite reduces the ELF waves and then it amplifies the good waves.
It does.
Yes,
yeah.
It does. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Good. It's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I know Natalie and Dr. Jeremy sometimes go around and they make Organite, who are with me on Naturally Better TV. Dr. Jeremy is one of the founders of the station, and they will go around and put Organite by, you know, cell towers and different kinds of things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Gifting.
Gifting.
Yeah. Gifting.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's very nice that this is now evolving into the Keshe material.
It is. It's really a wonderful blending of,
yes.
You know, this technology is coming forward for all of us to use. Look at the cat. Oh, he looks so like happy.
She loves being around the crystal. So,
Aww. What's her name?
Zoof.
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 Zoof. Beautiful. Oh, wonderful.
Yep.
And there is our Sybell. What are you doing? And Organite. Oh, those are nice. Ankhs.
Ankh symbols. There are new pendants that we've made.
Nice. Very good. Now, I think the health pen coil could go right into the end of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. These are pretty small, but actually we got some people who want us to make a pyramid, and like the Organite pyramid.
Right.
Only now we're gonna make a test out of that, and we're gonna build 5 health pens in one pyramid. Then
wow.
we're gonna use the infinity coils. We're gonna use the crystals in it, of course, and we're gonna see how strong we can make this. Let's say before we get into the Magrav coil systems.
Cool.
Yeah,
plasma pyramid.
Plasma pyramid.
Nice. And a little beautiful piece that you guys made.
Tree of Life, Organite. Yep, there's black tourmaline, crystal quartz, rose quartz, amethyst, brass powder, iron oxide, copper, and aluminium.
Nice. Okay, that's the end of the slides. We'll come out of screen sharing, and here we are together again. So, wow, we've already gone. We're like, I figured this might take a while because you had so much great detail, but go ahead and share with us what you have there, and let's look at some of those physically, and then we'll call it an end to today, and we'll come back and do another show with you guys in a few weeks.
Great. Okay. Shall I show something about the making of the pen, because people might want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a pretty good overview here, but if you want to just whatever you have there that you've already put together, and I know, you know, why don't you just show us a few little pieces, and I'll put it on speaker view so that you're kind of more big on the screen.
Oh, okay. This is just the copper wire that we get. It's actually, we talked about the gauge for that, and it's I think a 16 or an 18, because 16 and 18 is smaller than 14. Is that correct? Oh, you're muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, there you are. And we lost you visually. Let's try that again and see. Yeah, you're kind of flashing in and out there.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Interesting. I am not kidding you that when we start getting a lot of this stuff around the electromagnetics, it just freaks out. I have the weirdest things happen when I'm doing shows. So let's just calm our energy down.
Okay.
And not get too excited about what we're talking about.
Breathe. Oh.
Breathe. Oh, In and out. That's crazy. I thought maybe you turned your video off. I've never,
No, we're not.
ever. And I'm on really good Wi-Fi here, so
Okay.
funny.
So are we?
Are we? Yeah.
So go ahead. I'm gonna put. The thing is, I'm not going to speak when you're speaking, because if I do, the camera gets confused. So I'm just gonna put us on. I'll put you on speaker view, and then go ahead and start sharing, and hopefully we'll keep you.
Okay. Okay. I just want to inspire people to start doing this and get this material in the house and get it done. And it's so simple and it's a lot of fun. So get the copper wire. It's got some coating on it. You can strip that. Ask around how to strip that. You have little pliers for that. You can do it with a sharp knife. You can do it with a potato peeler.
And again, we'll say it's 14 gauge copper wire, right?
Okay, yes.
And here in the US at Home Depot, I have bought, like, it's kind of like, I think 5-strand or something copper wire that didn't have plastic over it. But when you buy it singly, it always has plastic over it like that.
Yes,
so.
Yes. Actually, try to get the one that has plastic over it, because the copper wire who does not have the coating on it will have a different coating on it, even though it doesn't look like it. And if you start using that without fixing that issue, you will get into some problems with how effective it is. Also, if you run into 16 gauge, that's fine. 12 gauge is fine. 20 gauge is fine, doesn't matter, as long as all three are the same size. So we especially use this one because it's easier to work with. If you, like you said, the thicker copper wire is more stiff and it's a bit harder to do, but everything's fine. So strip this, and then once it's stripped, where do I have it? It's the same stuff as this one, which is the copper wire without the coating. Then I use 2 different thickness. This is 0.3 centimeters. This is 0.7 centimeters. This one comes from this one. It's flashing again. Let's get this out. In and out, in and out. Okay, calm down, breathe. Yeah. So this one comes from this one. This one is made on the pencil. Interesting, Cary. What's going on? And then I have the pin in the center. So all 3 are being made. And just put that together, nanocoat it, and there you have the pen. That's how simple you can do that. Just start doing it, try it. And I was going to show you the burner to heat it. So that's a thing like that. I think it costs about $20 or something. And you can fill up these tubes. They're cheap. So this will work fine once you get the hang of it.
So let me ask you, you've got the 2 ways that you're doing caustic. You know, you're using the actual lye and the hot water, and then and then you're also using the butane torch on some of it. So what are you using for what? Or
actually, when you're really, really handy with this, you can use the heat nanocoating system also for the copper plates. If you want to make GaNs, you can do that, only it's very difficult. It needs to be very equally spread, and there should be no holes in it and stuff like that. So with plates, that's very difficult. So for the plates, we use the caustic, and for the coils and the pins and the smaller things that also don't need to be drained of the current, we use the heat. So that's the difference that we make. You can actually use.
Where are you using the Herbal?
In the Costic, when we make the plates or the.
So it is going into your GaNs.
It is going into our GaNs, yes.
Okay, I was thinking it was going into the coils that were going into the pens.
No.
Instead, in the pens, you're putting actual herbs, like crumbled up herbs and
oils and
essential oils
and stone or crystals.
Right.
Crystals, essential oils, and herbs are all going into the pen, but you're nanocoating the coils with heat.
Yes, we
I was
do.
thinking you were nanocoating those coils. So are you putting any GaNs in the pens?
We do.
Yeah.
We do, actually.
Okay, so we didn't see that step, but then so you nanocoat the coils in the pen with heat, and then are you dipping those in GaNs?
Yes, we do. Let's see. The tips of this pen are a bit whitish. That's the GaNs that was put on it, and it's dried now, and it has like this this layer on it. Actually, we need to do some testing, because even though we use it and it seems to work very well, there are some people who are saying you might not even need the GaNs on the tips. So if that's the case, then we're gonna find a way to get the Herbal caustic in the pens through the nanocoating process and not through the GaNs process anymore, because we really want to. Yeah.
Cool. Got
Let's
it.
see how that's gonna work.
All right. Well, listen, God, you guys are awesome. And I think we're, yeah, I mean, this is really wonderful, and you're doing a beautiful job. Thank you so much for taking the time to share this with others who are knowledge seekers out there who are wanting to put this into practice. And we were talking at the beginning of the show about sharing, and you know, you were saying it's kind of like the plasma. Can you share that again? Do you remember? Because I always call it open source, you know, that we're sharing things by open source, so everybody's passing the knowledge around. But you had a really nice view of that, of how it's like the plasma.
Yeah.
I just thought, if we're bringing plasma, the sun, into our homes, why not bring the frequency of the universe and nature into the pens?
The basis of the plasma is the magnetic and the gravitational forces and how they interact. And there's a constant giving and taking going on, giving and receiving. That sounds a lot more friendly. Once you break that balance, things get out of tune with each other, and you have to rebalance them again. So in our own behavior, you can feel that too. You know, people who are very centered to self, self-oriented, will have a harder life than when there's a flow of giving and receiving going on. And Keshe is showing that by doing this wonderful thing, by releasing this knowledge into the world. You know, he probably could have been the richest guy in the world and the most powerful person in the world if he just did it differently, but he didn't, because the essence of plasma has shown him what needs to be done with this, and we're trying to do that too. So we do sell the pens, but we are also looking for places where we can teach or share or give pens for free if people have a hard time getting them, or you know, trying to bring a balance into that. And it's a wonderful feeling to be able to do that. It kind of makes it all right to make money, and it kind of makes it all right to give away for free. You know, in the old days, the spiritual people would always be the poor people because they would only give, and the balance is also in the receiving of that. And now we're finding that balance in giving and receiving. So it's huge. It's wonderful.
Super beautiful. That's awesome. Really, so well said. I want to thank you both so much, and encourage our listening audience. Please go out and play with this, try it, incorporate it into your life. And there will be information both under this video on YouTube and where it is posted on a blog post at Naturally Better TV, on links to contact Maarten and Sybell, and to be able to get in touch with your Etsy store again. And your page on Facebook is called what?
It's not there yet. We'll let you know.
Okay.
Facebook page is Organite.
Organite. So that's one way people can get in touch with you right now. And then there will be information on the posts that we're putting up with this video. I want to thank Naturally Better TV and for its productions, and there are many other wonderful hosts there besides myself. We say tell your TV to go stand in the corner until it thinks of something good to say, but don't stop learning and growing, because we're in a really amazing world where information is coming to us every minute from amazing sources, and it's the waking up of humanity and really exciting things going on planet Earth. So we're happy to be here together. Thank you guys, and we'll do another show with you one of these days in the next few weeks and do a continuation of this process. So much love, many blessings to all. Namaste. Ciao.
Namaste, Cary.
Adios. Aloha. See you all soon.